Hello, my friend. Welcome back to our little quiet space. I'm Wendy, and this is the Heal and Grow podcast. Not just a place to learn English, but a gentle space to slow down, reflect, and grow from within. Today's topic is very close to my heart, because I believe many of us are quietly exhausted, not because we are not strong, but because we are trying too hard to prove that we are enough. This thought came to me last weekend, when I was sitting in a small coffee shop, trying to finish some work. At the table next to me, there was a group of young people talking about a project. At first, they looked excited. Everyone seemed to have ideas to share. But after a while, I noticed one person in the group. He talked a lot. Whenever someone started to speak, he quickly stopped them. He shared many numbers, talked about his own experience, and kept saying, "Trust me, I know this best." At first, he sounded confident. But slowly, the energy at the table changed. Some people became quiet. One person looked down. Another gave a small smile, but it did not feel happy. In that moment, I did not want to judge him. I just suddenly thought about myself. Maybe we have all had moments like that. Moments when we tried too hard to prove that we were smart, right, or better than others. Maybe deep inside we were not really confident. Maybe we were just afraid of being ignored, underestimated, or not valued. But the more we try to prove that we are the best, the more tired and lonely we may become. So in today's episode, let's slow down and look at a quiet question together. Why do we sometimes feel the need to prove ourselves so much? Maybe the need to be the best is not always about confidence. Sometimes it comes from a quiet fear inside us. The fear of not being enough, not being respected, or not being seen. And when we finally understand that fear, we can stop running after approval from others. We can begin to grow in a calmer, healthier, and more honest way. So instead of asking, "How can I prove that I am right?" maybe a better question is, "What can I learn from this moment?" And maybe this is where real growth begins. Not when we try to prove that we know more than others, but when we finally have the courage to admit, there is still so much I don't know. This reminds me of Charlie Munger, one of the most respected investors and thinkers of our time, and the longtime business partner of Warren Buffett. One of his powerful ideas was that knowing what you don't know can sometimes be more valuable than simply being brilliant. And I really love this thought, because it feels honest. It reminds us that real intelligence is not about pretending we have all the answers. It is about having the humility to say, "I still have something to learn." People who live with this kind of learning mindset often grow much further than people who believe they already know everything. Because when we think we know it all, our mind becomes like a closed room. No fresh air can come in, no new light can enter, no new ideas can grow. But when we stay open to learning, our mind becomes like a window. Every new lesson brings in more light. Every mistake can teach us something. Every person we meet can show us a new way to see the world. That is why many people go far in life. Not because they are always the smartest person in the room, but because they are willing to keep learning. They keep their heart open to learning. They listen more gently. They learn from mistakes without hating themselves. They learn from others without feeling smaller. And slowly, day by day, they become wiser, calmer, and more honest with themselves. Maybe real growth is not about becoming perfect. Maybe it is simply about ending each day with one small lesson in your heart. And when we understand this, the idea of being the best begins to lose its power. It no longer feels like a clear goal, because the best is always changing. The world is too big, and every place has a different standard. You may be the best in one room today, but tomorrow, in another room, you may meet someone who knows more, sees deeper, or does things in a way you have never imagined before. It is like a small fish living in a small pond. In that pond, the fish may be the fastest. It may feel proud. It may believe, this is my whole world. But when it swims into a bigger river, everything changes. Suddenly, it sees other fish. Some are stronger, some are faster, and some know how to move through the waves with more skill. At first, this can feel scary. It can make the fish feel small. But the river is not there to shame the fish. The river is there to show the fish how much more it can become. In the same way, meeting someone better than us does not mean we are not good enough. It simply means our world is expanding. And when our world expands, we also get the chance to expand who we are. We learn new ways to think. We discover new skills. We see new possibilities inside ourselves. Real growth is not about standing above everyone else. It is about becoming stronger, wiser, and more courageous than the person you were yesterday. This is the heart of a growth mindset. When you measure your progress by your own journey, you stop turning life into a race against everyone around you. You begin to grow with more peace, more patience, and more honesty. But the need to prove that we are the best is not always a sign of confidence. Sometimes it is a quiet sign of fear inside us. The fear of not being seen, not being respected, or not being enough. Deep down, many people believe they must look impressive to be valued. They think they must always be right to be respected. They think they must be better than others to feel safe. So they start to look outside themselves for proof. They need praise to feel valuable. They need attention to feel important. They need other people to say, "You are good," before they can believe it themselves. In psychology, this is connected to external validation. It means we depend too much on other people's approval to feel good about ourselves. When we depend too much on praise, our confidence becomes weak and unstable. If people praise us today, we feel good. We feel smart, strong, and confident. But if people ignore us tomorrow, or if someone else gets more attention, we may suddenly feel small, invisible, or not good enough. Then we try even harder to prove ourselves. We speak louder. We try harder to be noticed. We want to win every small moment, because attention makes us feel safe for a short time. But that feeling does not last. Soon we need more praise, more attention, and more proof that we matter. Slowly, we fall into a tiring loop. We prove ourselves. We receive praise. We feel better for a moment. And then we feel unsure again. This is why trying to prove that we are the best can feel so exhausting. The real problem is not always that other people do not praise us enough. The deeper problem may be that inside, we still do not truly believe we are enough. So even when people clap for us, compliment us, or admire us, the good feeling only stays for a short time. After that, the same quiet question comes back. Am I really good enough? It is like holding a cup with a small crack at the bottom. Other people may pour praise into it. They may give you attention, compliments, and recognition. For a moment, you feel full. You feel important. You feel enough. But because the cup is cracked, that feeling slowly leaks away. Soon you feel empty again. And you start needing more praise, more attention, and more proof that you matter. That is why external validation can never give us lasting peace. It can make us feel good for a short time, but it cannot replace real self-worth. People who are truly strong and secure are different. They do not spend all their energy trying to convince everyone that they are number one. They do not need to make every conversation a competition. They do not need to be the loudest person in the room to feel valuable. Instead, they focus on becoming better. They keep learning. They improve themselves quietly. They create real value through their actions, not just through their words. Because deep down, they understand something important. You do not need to prove you are the best to be worthy. You only need to keep growing, keep learning, and keep becoming more true. And this is why truly strong people do not spend all their energy proving themselves. They are too busy learning, improving, and becoming better in their own quiet way. But to grow, we need to see people who are better than us in a new way. When we meet someone more skilled, more experienced, or more successful, we often fall into one of two traps. Sometimes we feel too small. We admire them so much that we begin to doubt ourselves. We think maybe I can never reach that level. Other times we feel hidden envy. Instead of learning from them, we try to make them smaller in our mind. We tell ourselves maybe they are just lucky or maybe they are not really that good. But both reactions take us away from growth. Feeling too small makes us forget our own potential. Feeling jealous makes us close our heart to the lesson. Real confidence chooses a different path. It does not worship people, and it does not reject them. It simply observes and learns. When confident people meet someone better, they do not feel attacked. They ask, what can this person teach me? Maybe they learn discipline, courage, clear thinking, communication, or calmness under pressure. And if that person has weaknesses, they learn from those too. Maybe the lesson is, I can learn from their strength, but I do not have to copy their whole life. That is a peaceful way to grow. You do not need to compare yourself with everyone. You do not need to put anyone above you or below you. You can simply take what is useful, leave what is not, and keep becoming your own kind of strong. And after we learn from others, we need to come back to ourselves, because in the end, the best person to compare yourself with is not someone else. It is who you were yesterday. When you choose yesterday's version of yourself as your measure, your growth becomes something you can control. And focusing on what you can control is always one of the smartest choices you can make. You cannot control other people's talent, success, speed, or opinion of you. But you can control how much effort you give today. You can control the attitude you bring into the day. You can control the small habits you repeat. And you can control the next step in front of you. Maybe today, that step is reading 5 more pages. Maybe you learn 3 new words. Maybe you wake up a little earlier. Maybe you spend less time on your phone. Maybe you finish one small task. Maybe you say sorry when you know you are wrong. Maybe you ask one better question. Maybe you practice one skill for 10 minutes. Maybe you write down one thing you are grateful for. Maybe you speak to yourself with more kindness. These things may look small, but they are real victories. Because growth is not always loud. Sometimes, growth is simply making one better choice than yesterday. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, shared a very simple but powerful idea. If you improve by just 1% every day, after 1 year, you will become much better than where you started. A small change today may not look impressive tomorrow. But if you keep doing it, day after day, those small steps can become a big transformation. So, my friend, life is not a race where we have to push others down just to feel ahead. Life is a journey of becoming. The real goal is not to be better than everyone else. The real goal is to keep growing beyond the person we were yesterday. Someone else's strength does not make you weaker. Someone else's success does not take away your value. It only reminds you that growth is still possible, and that there is still more inside you waiting to be discovered. So do not be afraid of people who are better than you. Learn from them. Let them inspire you. Then return to your own path and keep moving. Maybe today your progress is small, but small steps still matter. Quiet growth still counts. You do not need to prove that you are the best to be worthy. You only need to stay open, stay humble, and keep becoming better in your own quiet way. And one day, when you look back, I hope you can say with peace, I am not the same person I used to be. I have grown. I have changed. I have become a little better than the person I was yesterday. That is already enough. Thank you for spending this quiet moment with me today. If this episode helped you feel better, I hope you will stay with me for more quiet conversations. If you can remember only one thing today, remember this. You do not need to be better than others to be worthy. You only need to keep growing in your own honest way.